All right, let's get started here. We're going to be looking at fantasy movers, consensus rankings, who got moved the most in the last week. Up first is Devon A. Chain. He was ranked fifth. He's now ranked fourth at running back. One GM said, hey, runs very hard for his small size. He isn't one of the biggest backs here. You can see here that he's 5'8", 188 pounds. That might be concerning. He's preparing to give him more work this season, the coach said. Hey, he has a sight set on the 1,000 yards. Well, they got him ranked up to fourth, and they moved Genty down to five. And at 4 or 5, they're moving him around just a little bit. He's a exciting rookie, got good contact balance, like a human pinball out there. Of course, comes in, going to be doing good for. They have the 17th schedule there for Vegas, and A-Chain does have the seventh easiest schedule, and they lose that target, right? So Darren Waller comes in to play the tight end now. That's based on this next news item. We move up to Juwan Smith trade. That really puts some changes here. You see, they moved him to 13th, moved him down. He's coming off one of the best seasons, 4.7 receptions per game, a lot higher than his previous 2.9. So they were using him a lot towards the end in Miami last year. And Freiermuth here gets moved down as well. So Smith moves 5 points in the ranking, goes to 13. Pat Freiermuth moves to 23rd. So they're moving around with this addition. They both get moved down. And I had Freiermuth here. He was one of my sleepers, right? I had him as one of my top 10. I had him as my top sleeper. I know Arthur Smith likes to use their tight ends, so hey, let's change here. Moves them both down, a little crowded there. Same kind of story here. Aaron Rodgers, they moved him up 2 spots. Now he's ranked 28th. He was ranked 30th previously, so they're moving him up. Of course, Hall of Fame quarterback. Agreed to a 1-year contract. Will Howard better be ready just in case the old body doesn't hold up. Brought him in Metcalf here. He's ranked 19th. They moved him up 2 spots. He has a 13th schedule. He's going to be really looked upon, but with that addition of Juwan Smith and the 2 tight ends, hey, Pat Freiermuth gives them another target here. But anyway, they're a little happier with that, so they moved him up. Moving on to running backs here. How about Bastion Tootin? All right. He looks great. There's been the little news here, little comment lately. Needs further development in pass protection. Don't all rookies always hear the same thing? Tank Bigsby's moved to 40th. All right. And Etienne's in the final year of his contract. Tank Bigsby kind of took over last year for that. Hey, Tank was 11th in rushing yards over expected and 4th in yards after contact. So he did really good. They moved him up 3 spots and Tootin down a little bit on the pass protection concerns. So, and Tank Bigsby has the 10th schedule. He comes in 40th. So very cheap there. How about the Bears? We got Roshan being moved down 1 spot and Swift moving up a spot. They're going to be switching these around through all preseasons and things. Roshan Johnson. Hey, this Kyle Monagai is in a competition for running back 2. Obviously, that pressure's there. Puts a little pressure on Roshan here. And DeAndre Swift is just moved down to from 24th to 23rd. But hey, that's going to keep shifting around. Swift's coming off an average of just 8 yards a carry. That's bad. Ben Johnson's used him down as a 3rd down back when he had him 4 years ago in Philly. He had career high in attempts per yards in that year, but well, I better say. So the Bears, hey, they did. Now, the whole thing here is the Bears did bring in better offensive line, Tooney, Jonah Jackson, Drew Dahlman. That should all help. And Ben Johnson's play calling. But they're moving the running backs around there in Chicago a little bit. They're doing the same in the Giants here. New York, Tyrone Tracy's ranked 35th now. Swapping spots with Scatterbo, who's ranked 34 now. So Scatterbo, hey, he leaves the NCAA. He was a first team All American, first team All Big 12. So I mean, the promise is there, right? Going to be working in, see how he does. But Tyrone Tracy, he moved him down. He was exciting last year. Kind of stole the job from Singletary. 4.4 yards per attempt and 38 catches. So he did more than just run. So he had the receiving too. So we'll see how these two work out. But they're just swapping. So 34th to 35th. And we go to the team here. We got David Singletary's not even ranked now. He's pushed down to number 3. Maybe they get a little trade for him if something happens in training camp to another team. Maybe they could move him. Let's move up to the Rams. A little movement here. This is a kind of 2 spots. Kyrene Williams moves to number 10. All right, Kyrene Williams ranked, he's 10th now. No holdouts, right? Wants an extension. This is the last year of his contract. Has participated in all voluntary workouts. Coaches are impressed with his hard work and leadership. Hadn't got the money yet. He's in the final year of his contract. You're getting paid less than $1 million. All right. So you can understand why he been one of the top backs these last few years. You can understand why he wants the money. Show him the money. But he's been good. Been in there working and doing everything he needs to. How about Puka? They moved him down to the number 4 wide receiver, right? That's kind of concerning for me. Hey, his style of play, right? He's very aggressive, taking hits. And they brought in Adams, of course, to limit some of the damage he's been taking, but at full price. I mean, you look at that number 4 ranking, I just think he was, the 34th finish last year because of the games he misses, right? He missed those games last year. Hey, he's got a great average. Everything looks great there. It's just the best ability is availability, and you worry about that. And guys, 4th ranking, that's just way too high for me. I won't be taking that. That's just too risky. And actually, Kyrene Williams dropping here from 8 to 10. He's starting to get more palatable. Hey, we might think about him a little bit more because, of course, the risks there with him is they've been trying to find rookies the last couple of years, and they may have got one in this Hunter, right? He comes in, 4th round pick, but deep class. So you never know. We'll see how that works. But Kyrene Williams getting a little more cheaper and now ranked 10th. And Puka, I just wouldn't take the risk on that, guys. Moving on to 2 other movers. Malik Neighbors is moving down 2 spots. He's at number 6 now. Ranked number 6. He was number 4. No practice in any of the spring workouts. And has had some issues with his toe, and he had that in college too. I didn't say everything's good to go, but hey, we don't want to get McCaffrey this year, do we? So we'll keep an eye on him. He's ranked 6th. Got a tough schedule with 27 schedule. So, hey, look for a sophomore slump there. So that's lining up there. How about Nico Collins? He's ranked 5th. Well, he moves up when they move Neighbors down. He moves up to number 5 now. Finished 22nd. Hey, same concerns with him, too. He missed a couple games last year, right? So, but we look over at him, ranked 5th now. Hey, 11.88 average per game when he's in there. That's higher than Puka, higher than Brian Thomas Jr. That average per game is just, he got 1,000 yards last year, and, you missed those games. So he's a great receiver. They're moving him up. 19th schedule. Of course, it is getting crowded there. They add to Higgins. They bring in Christian Kirk, and this Knowles, no slouch. So, but we'll see how they go. 19th position schedule for him. Anyway, they're moving him. He's at 5. Maybe that's getting a little rich too. Can he stay healthy? 2 of these guys, the health concerns, I guess. Moving on. How about Jonathan Taylor? They're moving him up 2 spots. He's at ranked 8th right now. Jonathan Taylor. Hey, Taylor has appeared in 17 games, only one of the seasons in the last 5. Right? And this Giddens they brought in looks to be a pretty good running back. Right? So he can receive some, do a little receiving, has ability to catch the ball. If his pass blocking holds out. We know that about every rookie, right? So Jonathan Taylor, hey, they moved him up 2 spots. He finished 8th last year. Been a great runner. I mean, you look at those years, his average, hey, last year was a pretty good year, but look, the years 2 before that, he was down a little bit. Some extra competition there, and that Giddens might change that a little bit. How about Daniel Jones? They moved him to 32nd, right? Productive OTA in minicamp, for Jones. Richardson's been out, some shoulder problems. So it's looking like Daniel Jones is going to be the player that starter there. They've moved him down 3 spots. Hey, that could be, and because as Anthony Richards gets healthier and plays, it's going to be risky for Daniel Jones here. So, excuse me. And they move him up. So, and last we got here, Josh Downs. They have him 47. They moved him up, and Tyler Warren a couple of targets. Hey, moved Josh Downs. Might be a sleeper this year. Looked good. Would likely be more if Daniel Jones. See, that's all. If Daniel Jones is the quarterback, that's going to look great for someone like Josh Downs and Tyler Warren, right? So, hey, the more accurate Jones would be, the better to throw, and more likely to throw underneath targets where the Downs plays the slot and get a lot of targets. Has been getting a lot of targets, right? So that average of 8 is pretty good for his amount of targets he's getting. Look at that. He's got the 31st most touches. So anyway, how about Tyler Warren? Brought it in the draft. They got him ranked 11th, was the 14th pick overall in that first round. Heavily involved during live drills and OTAs. A lot of targets moving him around to different spots. Hey, that same kind of thing here. They move him up 1 spot. Daniel Jones going to be the quarterback. That's going to be a lot better for the receivers over Anthony Richardson. 11th might be a little high for me. At tight end here, they Brock Bowers, they're rewriting it all, moving these rookies up. Might be a little too high for me there. We'll look at tight ends later. But how about last on the list here is DJ Moore, moved down 2 spots. Now he's ranked 22nd. Finished 21st, right? 22nd ranking. Hey, talk out of OTAs, minicamps, is maybe he won't see as many targets this year. Right? Hey, 21st in fantasy last year, so this 22 ranking isn't too far off. Of course, the targets here as we go over the depth here is obviously Rome Odunze. Hey, we're waiting for more from him. Luther Burden, right? Brought in, exciting rookie. And, of course, the tight ends here. Colston Loveland they got him ranked 10th. All right, they moved him up. A lot of targets to be spread around. Hey, Cole Kmet ain't going away. I think they got him ranked too high. But anyway, a lot of targets. They moved him up to 10th now. Excuse me, I think that's just too high. So anyway, that's a look at some of the movers in the fantasy. Let's take a look at this.